one of the things that you led with in your talk at the Florida Faith Leaders Summit was every marriage is either moving towards isolation or oneness.
Yeah.
Go into that just for another quick moment for our listeners, because I think it's really kind of the main point here.
Yeah. So, Emerson Eggerichs, I don't know if you've read the book Love and Respect.
Yes.
If your listeners haven't, you guys should really read it or listen to it on audio. There's one thing in that book that I always, there it is. There it is. That's right. Yeah, definitely it's a classic book for a reason, because it addresses the innate need of women to feel loved and understood, and for men to feel respected. And, it really becomes a cycle when there's no love and there's no respect. He calls it the crazy cycle. And, just this basically the relationship's on its way down the toilet, basically, if somebody doesn't stop the cycle. And so, in all of that, we see that somebody has to break that cycle when we're disconnected. And, getting away from the cycle and more on like the pulling apart visual, I want to say every single choice we make every single day, every word we speak, every action we take determines our course and our direction, whether we're headed towards each other or away from each other. And that's true in all relationships. Even just today, my wife and I this morning were working on a creative project together, and we found ourselves in like our classic argument that we find ourselves in when we're working together. And we were both wanting to like pull our hair out. I felt like Tim and Joy Downs are speakers, and they wrote this book called One of Us is Crazy, and I'm Pretty Sure It's You. Like, we found ourselves in that moment where like, you're crazy, no, you're crazy. And I had to decide as a husband, am I going to hold on to my stuff that is pulling me away from Sarah right now and allow this cycle that I know can start from here to continue? Or am I going to put aside my own selfishness and choose an action that will draw us back together? And I think by God's grace, I've screwed this up so many times, but today by God's grace, I was able to say, you know what? I'm going to meet her in her reality. I'm going to speak truth to the situation calmly, and we're going to get out of this. And I'm learning more and more throughout my life to make those decisions, but they're really hard, and they're never natural.
No.
Our natural bent is to always hold on to our own viewpoint, always hold on to our own grievances, to be selfish. And so it takes a lot of grace and strength that I only believe I get from the Lord.
That's right.
To be able to make those good decisions. But it's important to think about all the time. Are we moving towards oneness or drifting apart?
You said a lot of great things. Last month when we got to hear you speak and present, you said something like restlessness can turn to action, which leads to relief. Could you unpack that just a little bit?
Yeah, totally. So I always say, and I actually say usually release, but relief works too. So it's like
right.
I always say.
Okay. So maybe I was writing fast, and I probably miswrote release.
Dude, it does sound, I didn't have a slide up on that one. And it does very much sound like really, I can get it, why it sounds that way. But it's the same concept, exactly, right. Because, this restlessness that we feel is the indicator to us that something in our lives needs to change.
Yes, correct.
And so in 2014, 2015, the restlessness inside of me was growing to the point where it just was becoming more and more aware of this tension. And to be really honest with you, that tension between family, dreams, and marriage